My name is Salah, better known as Pious. I can help with surahs, so I can recite.
My name is Suhaila, memorizing surahs, reading the Quran, and practicing the Sunnah.
My name is Mommy, better known as Ummi. Islamic education is key to the family. We tune in every day to learn something new, and Sunnahfollowers is helping us, and it could help you too. Tune in every day for new programming. Stay tuned.
And much more.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wake up in the morning, hands and feet get wet. My Lord, get wet. Get wet, my Lord. Wet, my Lord. Wet, my Lord. Wake up in the morning, hands and feet get wet. Getting ready for our conversation, deep and in depth. Obligations are serious and need to be met. So I prepare so I won't forget. Go ahead and make a good intention. Yeah, yeah. You can write for some good things. Yeah, make a donation to the side and go from left to make it right. Just remember and don't lose sight. Jannah is the goal. Jannah is the goal. Jannah is the goal.
Hey, I got a couple questions for y'all. The first one, who is your Lord? What is your religion? Who is your prophet? Now, I know this sounds crazy, but if you're one of those people that have been trying to get information and you come across this, or even this. All right, take a listen.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Sister Layla Nashiba, the Managing Director and founder of Sunnahfollowers Online Islamic University. As you know, we have classes every day beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we cover everything from Aqidah, which is your belief system, to Seerah, which are the stories of the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the story of the companions. Please join us every day beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are broadcasting and streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, DLive, Trovo, and Twitch. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Proper Aqidah, Quran and Sunnah, Quran and Sunnah, Minhaj and Aqidah, actions speak louder than words, Sunnah-following kids, come with me. Work hard to get to heaven. Treat the people good like the prophet would. Proper Aqidah, Quran and Sunnah, Quran and Sunnah, Minhaj and Aqidah, actions speak louder than words,
Assalamu alaikum. This is Yusuf and this is Ayub. And if you are benefiting like we are from the classes and the ongoing programming and tuning into the Sunnahfollowers, please donate. Let this be an ongoing Sadaqah Jariyah on your behalf. You're helping the kids, the deaf, and everyone seeking knowledge. And it's a wealth of information every day you tune in. Don't forget, you are being rewarded for your generous donations to keep this programming on air. You know, just like what you're hearing, put your dollar where the dollar's at. Right here on Sunnahfollowers. Don't forget, donate. Right here to Sunnahfollowers and Sadaqah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Message from Sunnahfollowers. This is from Sheikh Salah. We need to unite. Sisters, wear your hijab. Wear your beards. Be proud of your beards. Stay home, stay in your home. Stand up, unite, and stand for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That's right, Solly.
We all should stand up in solidarity, not transgressing the limits of the law, but standing together with patience and understanding. This is Sunnahfollowers.
With dignity, humility, and balance.
Ina alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I want to welcome everybody to our next class, our last class for tonight. And this is our class on the prayer, And we've been discussing how to perform the prayer. We've been covering the topic of purification. The last time we met for this class, we spoke about how Allah has made it so easy for us to perform our obligations to him. For example, he allowed us to be able to wipe over certain body parts rather than making wudu over them. We talked about wiping over the feet with shoes on or slippers on, which also goes to show that Allah knows his creation and Allah knows the future. Allah knew that we would work and have to work in different type of environments, which require us to wear shoes or boots. And he also knew that there would be some people in places like Antarctica or in the cold and snow, and taking off your shoes would be a disadvantage. So that just goes to show again about the actions of Allah's lordship. Allah knows everything. He knows what's going to happen in the future and what won't happen. So he didn't make no mistakes in his religion, and he didn't forget anything. And that's something that the Muslims today need to understand, especially those men and women who think that they can change Islam, that they can redo Allah's laws or tweak Allah's laws or whatever. Okay, Allah is the knower of all things. He knows the future. He knows the past. He knows what we don't even know. Okay, so no mistakes were made. So today what I'm going to do is give you a quiz to cover what we discussed the last time we met about wiping. And then also I'm going to go into Ghusl, which is the second topic of purification. So let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And I want everybody to participate in this quiz because every Muslim should know these answers. You should be able to answer all of these questions about wiping. Okay, and also, and again, today we're going to discuss Ghusl. But let's start with the quiz. Question number 1. A new wudu should be made before every prayer, even if the wudu has not been broken. Is this statement true or false? What do you guys think? True or false?
False.
Okay, does everybody agree that this is false?
Yeah.
Okay, what about this? Is it better to make a new wudu? Is there more blessings or something if we make a new wudu before every prayer? Is this a good thing to do? Is it something that we should do?
No, we don't have to.
Everybody agree with her answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I want you guys to beware of the innovators out there, because you'll find some Muslims who will make a new wudu even though the wudu has not been broken, and they'll tell you, oh, it's better. I'm getting more blessings. Who said that? Who said that? You know, if we're going to say that doing something brings more reward from Allah, then there should be a clear verse, a clear hadith where the Prophet told us that. Because as I said earlier, Allah didn't make no mistakes in this religion, nor did he forget anything. He told us everything that we need to know about how to worship him and how to prepare for worship. Good job. Let's look at the next question. A person should not talk when making wudu. Is this statement true or false? You should not speak when making wudu. And by the way, this is a question I get a lot. True or false? A person should not speak or talk when making wudu. Is that true or false?
False.
Okay, does everybody agree with her answer?
Yes. Yes.
Mashallah, this is false. So I don't know why I get so many emails asking me, Sister Layla, somebody told me that it's haram to talk when I'm making wudu. Really? I want you guys to remember, when it comes to all acts of worship, you know, if a person's going to tell you that something has to be done a certain way, or you cannot do something, they have to bring the clear evidence from Allah or the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If they don't give you the evidence, then you just disregard them. Okay, there is nothing in Islam that mentions anything about talking or not talking when making wudu. And as our Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, told us, the things that Allah hasn't mentioned are lawful. And we need to learn to accept Allah's concessions and stop putting our opinion in on things. Okay, let's look at the next question. If a person is not sure how many times he or she has washed the body part when making wudu, they should do 3 more, wash that body part 3 more times just to be sure. Is this statement true or is this statement false? Just
False.
to make sure.
False.
Good job. This is false. What did the Prophet Muhammad teach us about doubt? What did he say about doubt? Can anybody tell us about doubt? When you're not sure about something, that means that's doubt. And where does doubt come? Doubt comes from your personal jinn. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, do the opposite, because your jinn wants to push you to become a fanatic, an extremist, because he knows Allah hates extremism. Okay, so if you doubt something, you assume the lesser, not the more. Does everybody understand? And you assume that you did it the right number of times and go on, because Allah grades us on our intentions anyway. If your intentions were to perform a perfect wudu, you got the reward of it anyway. So don't fall victim to doubt. What about this? You must have had your socks or shoes on before wiping over them. Is that statement true or false? In order to wipe over your sock or shoe, you have to have had the shoe or sock on. Is that statement true or false? Exactly. This is false, guys. And you'll hear stories like that. Oh, you have to warm your socks. Who said that? No, I don't have to have had the socks or shoes on. You know, I'm getting ready to wipe over my sock because I didn't have my sock on before now. That doesn't make sense. So this is false. Exactly. Good job. What about this? How long can I wipe over my socks or my shoe if I am not traveling?
Once every 24 hours.
Do you guys agree? She said once every 24 hours. Exactly. Good job. Y'all got it right. 24 hours. What if I'm traveling? How long can I wipe over my sock or shoe before having to take it off if I'm not traveling?
If you're not traveling.
I mean, if I am traveling. If I am traveling.
Yeah. 3 days. 3 days.
Good
3
job.
days.
3 days. 3 days. Good job. So once every 24 hours, you can go 24 hours if you're not traveling. Okay, but if you are traveling, you can wipe for 3 days before you have to do that the foot. See how Allah made this religion so easy for us. And what about this? The socks must cover your ankles and not have any holes in them in order to wipe over them. Is that true? Or is that false?
True.
Okay, we got two different answers. Some say true, some say false.
Let me see.
So who can give me some dalil for their answer? Whenever we have two different answers, you got to bring me some evidence. Which answer is it, true or false? And give me the dalil. Nobody knows?
I forgot. No, I remember that one of the companions was wiping over the sock, and then it says even if it has holes in it, but I can't remember, paraphrase it word for word.
Okay, when we give dalil, do we give word for word?
No.
What do we, because you don't speak Arabic. How you giving word for word, Mina?
Yeah.
So what do we do when we give dalil?
Just
what
the
do we
meaning
do?
of it.
Right.
Just the meaning of it.
So now give me the meaning.
So you can wipe over your sock. It doesn't say anything about having holes in it. So if it has holes in it, that's fine. I mean, the companions had holes in their socks.
Okay, that's it. I want you to understand there's no such thing as word for word of anything because number one, you don't speak Arabic. And Arabic ain't even nothing like English. Okay? What you guys have to remember is the meaning of the Quran, the meaning of the Hadith. Y'all don't have to sit here and quote word. Ain't nobody no fortune teller. We don't believe in that crap. Give the meaning. Y'all understand? Don't be afraid to give the Hadiths, the dalil. All right. So, like she said, the companions used to wipe over their socks and they had holes in them. That's the meaning. It's just that simple. Many of the companions were poor. You think they had a bunch of pair of socks? Okay, so so yes, you can wipe over the sock. The sock doesn't have to come up to the ankle because what? Why is it that the sock doesn't have to cover my ankle? That's a common sense answer. Why is it that the sock doesn't have to cover the ankle?
Because we don't wipe over the ankle when we make wudu.
That too, but also, what is a sock? A sock is a piece of clothing that covers the foot, not the ankle.
Yeah.
So, these are extreme radicals when they tell you have to wear leather that covers the ankle. That's garbage. That's not what a sock is. A sock is anything made out of fabric that covers the foot. Okay? All right. Good job. What about this? I can put a scarf on and wipe over my hijab as long as I have made wudu over my head at least once before. Is that statement true or false?
True.
Does everybody agree?
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I'm telling you, sisters, there's no need for you women to go around with dreadlocks. Dreadlocks are haram anyway. But a lot of you sisters walk around looking like jinn because y'all think that you got to wet your hair all day. No, as long as you've wet your hair at least once within that 24-hour period, you can put a hijab on and do wudu over the top of the hijab. Everybody understand that Islam is easy. Islam is not hard. Allah did not make this religion hard upon any of us. And Allah doesn't want nobody to walk around looking ugly or looking like a jinn, like a lot of you sisters look. And y'all wonder why y'all can't keep y'all husbands. All right. So that's what we spoke about the last time we met. One more question. We wipe over the top and bottom of the sock or shoe when wiping. Is that statement true or false?
False.
Everybody agree that this is false?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why is it false?
Because we only need to wipe over the top, our Prophet Islam said.
Exactly. We just do the top of the shoe. You don't have, or the top of the sock. You don't have to worry about the bottom, because the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, whatever walks over the earth purifies whatever crosses over it. So you don't have to worry about the bottom of your sock, the bottom of your shoe, or even the bottom of your thobe, the bottom of your dress, your shift. Dirt purifies whatever crosses over it. That's the hikmah of Allah. Also, more proof of Allah's lordship. I'm trying to point out to you the lordship of Allah, because most of the Muslims that you are in contact with in your everyday life do not believe in all of Allah's aspects of his lordship. They don't believe that he is the creator of everything. They don't believe that he knows everything. And they some of them believe he made mistakes and forgot. Isn't that sad? Now do y'all see why that war is here? I'm gonna keep pointing that out to y'all. So this is how you refute Shaitan. This is how you get over all that negative emotionalism. Okay? Because it'll make you see Allah's just. Allah's just in everything he does, including war. We bring it on ourselves. Like he said in the Quran, whatever evil befalls us comes from him as a result of what we brought upon ourselves. We're questioning and denying his lordship. So he's trying to tell you something. Deny this. Okay. So today we're going to continue the topic of purification, and we're going to go to the subject matter that many of you have been asking about, which is ghusl. And let's start off with the meaning of this word ghusl. Ghusl is just an Arabic word. What it simply means in English is to wash your entire body with water, not soap, water. In other words, to immerse my entire body from head to toe with water. That's all ghusl means. It don't mean nothing else but that. And Allah tells us in the Quran, if you are sexually impure, purify yourselves. And they ask you about menstruation, tell them it's a sickness. So let the women alone during that time and do not have intercourse with them until they are clean. Okay? So if I'm going to take a ghusl, in English, I'm saying I'm going to take a bath. All I'm going to do is put my whole entire body in water. That's all. That's what ghusl means. Nothing hard. Arabic is not a religion. It's just another language. So, what are some of the actions that require us to take a bath? Well, number one, whenever you discharge sperm or semen, whether you're asleep or awake, this is when you have to take a bath. We have the hadith where the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said water, bathing, and water is needed after ejaculation of sperm. So that means if you have a wet dream, women have wet dreams too. If you wake up from a wet dream, you have to take a bath, okay? If you're having relations with your wife or with your husband, you have to take a bath. If you are masturbating, when you're done masturbating, you have to take a bath. We have the hadith of Salama. She said that Sulaim asked, she said, "O prophet of Allah, Allah is not ashamed of the truth. Does a woman have to take a bath if she has a wet dream?" He said, "Yes, if you wake up and see the liquid." And you sisters know what I'm talking about. You wake up in the morning, you feel that wetness down there and you see it, you have to take a bath. Okay? There's also some other points to be noted here. You have to take the bath even if you didn't do anything. Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. I forgot I broke this hadith up. Points to be noted. First of all, if the sperm is discharged without any type of stimulation due to sickness or cold, then you don't have to take a bath. Y'all understand that? So say, for example, it's so cold outside that it causes you to discharge. Or like a lot of you sisters are sick. Perhaps you have vaginitis. A lot of sisters know what vaginitis is. A lot of us women get it. You know, you don't have to take a ghusl if you got vaginitis. And that's based on this hadith where the prophet said, if the sperm is ejaculated, that's when you take the ghusl. So in other words, you know, if it's a climax, if you climax, vaginitis does not occur from a climax. That's a sickness. Okay. And I guess for men can get so cold that it causes them to do that. That wasn't stimulation. That was the cold that did that for them. You have to have a climax. And I hope this is clear. So if there's a climax, you have to take a ghusl. But if there is no climax and the semen is there, no ghusl needed. Real clear. And I hope the women get it. Vaginitis is very common amongst sisters. And again, we have this hadith, whereas one of the companions said, we were in a meeting in the mosque and with Ibn Abbas. And when he went to pray, a man came and asked, "Can anybody give me a fatwa?" And so the companion said, "Yeah, ask your question." He said, "Anytime I urinate, liquid comes out afterwards. Do I have to take a bath?" And they said, "Yes." Well, Ibn Abbas had just finished his prayer and he heard the question and he heard the answer. And he said to them, "Wait a minute." He went to Ikrimah and he said, "Where'd you get that answer from? Did Allah say that?" Ikrimah said, "No." And then Ibn Abbas said, "Did you hear the Prophet Muhammad say that?" He said, "No." And then Ibn Abbas said, "So where did you get that answer from?" "My opinion." And that's when Ibn Abbas said, "This is why the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that one learned man is more difficult for Shaitan than 1,000 worshipers." He said, that answer you gave was wrong. The same thing I tell you guys. Don't issue fatwa unless you can back it up with the Quran or with what the Prophet said. Ibn Abbas said, "Go get that man." And they went and got him. And Ibn Abbas said, "You do not have to take a ghusl. The only time you have to take a ghusl is if you were climaxing or ejaculating." So there's your dalil. Everybody understand that? And you also learn from this wonderful hadith that people don't change. The same way people on the internet are quick to answer questions. That's how these companions were. And Ibn Abbas had to tell him, you don't give fatwa unless you qualify. Remember Ikrimah, he was new to Islam. He converted to Islam after the conquest of Mecca. Remember, We talked about him, how he left because he was afraid he was going to be killed by the prophet. But he ended up converting to Islam, and he fought against the Romans and Persians with Khalid bin Walid. Okay, but he didn't know as much as those other companions. So Ibn Abbas had to check him and tell him, don't you go around answering questions when you don't know the answer. Be careful of that. And that's a lesson to all of us. So that brings us to the next point. What about this? You have a wet dream, but you don't find any traces of ejaculation. In this case, you don't have to take a ghusl. Y'all understand? Remember in the first instance, I said, if you have a wet dream and you wake up and you see it, you know how a woman can have a wet dream? You feel wet. If you look down there and see the wet stuff, you take a ghusl. But if you have a wet dream and you wake up and you don't see nothing wet, then you don't need to take a ghusl. Does everybody understand that? So the key to the ghusl is if you can see it. If you see the semen. If you don't see the semen, then there's no need for a ghusl. And all the companions were of that opinion and view, and that hadith of Salama, supports that too. All right. If a person wakes up and finds moistness down there, but does not recall a wet dream, even though he's sure that this is semen, what should he do? Well, to be safe, he or she should take a ghusl. Okay? But remember, there's no need for it unless you're sure that it's semen. Does everybody understand that? So say you have a wet dream and you wake up, you're wet down there. Okay? But you don't recall. No, say you sleep, you wake up and you're wet down there, but you don't recall having a sexual dream. To be sure, go ahead and take a ghusl. Remember, guys, cleanliness is everything. Okay? What about this? A person squeezes themselves to prevent ejaculation. In this case, you don't have to take a ghusl either because you stopped it. You stopped the semen from coming out. Remember, the prophet said ghusl is required if the semen can be seen. If the person can stop himself from ejaculating, then he doesn't have to worry about it. Y'all see how Islam, Allah didn't forget anything. Our Prophet Muhammad taught us everything we need to know, even about semen, masturbation, and all of that. So how can people today think that Allah forgot to tell us that we can't support LGBTQ? Doesn't make sense. Now, what about this? If a person makes Salah and you notice that you had semen on your clothes after you prayed, what should you do? Well, if you have already prayed, then you should repeat your prayer. Okay? If you think that it happened before your most recent sleep. Does everybody understand that? Again, the only time that we want to be sure of anything to take away the doubt is when it comes to cleanliness like this. Purification for the prayer, because the prayer is a talk between you and Allah. So we want to get rid of any doubts about that. Okay? Now, touching. Say, for example, a man and his wife. A man penetrates his wife's vagina, but they don't finish it because the children wake up. They still have to take a ghusl. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said anytime, whenever the two private parts come into contact, you have to take a ghusl. So it doesn't matter if you guys finished or not. The simple fact that you entered into your wife or he penetrated you, you have to take a ghusl, whether the children interrupted or not. Does everybody understand that? And we have all these hadiths here. A man asked Aisha. That goes to show again that Aisha radiallahu anha did answer questions for men, even the most intimate ones. A man came to Aisha and he said, I'm too shy to ask you something. She said, don't be shy. I'm the mother of the believers. Ask whatever you want. Like I told you, Aisha was outspoken, just like me. There's a time to hold and a time to fold. When it comes to teaching this deen, we don't fold. She said, ask your question. So he said, if a man has intercourse but doesn't ejaculate, do I have to take a ghusl? And she told him, yes. The Prophet said, if the two circumcised parts enter each other, ghusl is obligatory. So that shows Aisha didn't have no problem answering his question. And that's why I am not ashamed to answer questions about this deen. There's a time to be shy and a time not to be. Teaching Islam is not the time to be shy. Okay? However, if it's just touching, then you don't have to take a ghusl. Again, the two private parts have to connect with each other. Now, every woman, I keep telling you, there's another reason why Allah sent in his punishment. How many of you sisters are praying on y'all's periods? Because you think that you got prolonged menses when you don't even know what it is. You ain't got no prolonged menses. Okay? A woman cannot pray on her period. Period. Dot. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do not pray during your period. After it has ended, take a ghusl and then pray. So as every Muslim woman should know, once your menses ends, you have to take a complete ghusl. That means you have to immerse your entire body in water from head to toe. After sexual relations with your husband, if your hair was braided, you don't have to take your hair loose if your hair was braided. But after your menses, whether your hair was braided or not, you have to take your hair loose and wash the entire head. Do you women understand that? If your hair is braided, you don't have to take the braids out. But after your menses, you do. And if a woman had a baby, it's the same thing. Okay? You know, you take a ghusl after the bleeding stops if you've had a baby. Finally, as everyone should know, whenever a Muslim dies, it's an obligation that we wash their body. And we'll talk about that later. And also, ghusl is required when you take shahada. A lot of you people ask me about that. Here's the dalil. When Thumayma, you guys should recognize these names. These are all names of companions that Mukhtar's been talking about. Ikrima, Thumayma. When Thumayma was captured, The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam walked past him and said, what do you have to say for yourself? And Thumaima said, if you kill me, you'll be killing one of your own relatives. And if you set me free, I'll be thankful. And if you want to someone to ransom me, we can give you whatever you want. The Prophet sallallahu, the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam preferred the ransom and said, what would we get if we kill him? And then the Prophet happened to walk past him again and he embraced Islam. And that's when the Prophet said, you're Muslim now? He said, go and take a ghusl. And after he took his ghusl, that's when the Prophet said, now he's a good Muslim. So this is the dalil that when you convert to Islam, after you give your shahada, you should take a ghusl too. So these are the instances for today as to when a ghusl is required. You have to take a ghusl. That's a source, Bukhari and Muslim and stuff too. Okay, you have to take a ghusl when you convert to Islam. You have to, when a person dies, we give them a complete ghusl. A woman has to take a ghusl after her menses. She has to take a ghusl after giving birth to a baby. You have to take a ghusl after sexual relations with your husband or wife. You have to take a ghusl after a wet dream if you see the semen. You have to take a ghusl after masturbation. Okay. You have to take a ghusl whenever the two private parts meet each other. And you should take a ghusl just to be sure if you find semen on your clothing and you don't, after waking up, and you don't know if it was then while you were asleep this time or not. Okay. Any questions or comments? This is all should be clear. Any questions or comments? Yes. And ghusl means to simply immerse the entire body in water from head to toe. That's all a ghusl is. That's what makes it different than wudu. With wudu, we're only immersing, we're only washing certain body parts. With a ghusl, we're washing the entire body. That's the difference. I'm only washing a certain parts of my body with wudu, but with ghusl, I'm washing the entire body. That's the difference. Okay, inshallah, if there's no questions, we're going to stop right here. I want to remind everybody, please support this dawah effort. We need donations. We still have 2 more bills for this month to be paid, plus the first is coming up. So please, guys, donate generously to this website. If you guys enjoy coming here to learn Islam in its truthfulness, with the understanding of those companions, please support us because we are a nonprofit organization. We don't get any money from the federal government, thank God. Okay. So please, we're only here because you guys are keeping us here. So we need your donations. We're nonprofit and you can write it off at the end of the year. Okay, I'm going to close out for tonight, inshallah. Don't forget tomorrow at 6 p.m. we have we have the class with Dr. McBride. For those of you who want to purchase his book, don't forget to go to www.drmcbride.com and you can buy his book for those of you who want to have something that you can use to help with your non-Muslim relatives. To show them to answer whatever questions they may have about their books. Yes, you already bought it. That's good. Yeah, a lot of people bought it. Yeah, alhamdulillah. All right, guys, I'm going to close out for tonight. Subhanakala huma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Everybody have a good night. See you guys tomorrow, inshallah.